guys, we absolutely have to sit down and break down every single piece of drama surrounding Taylor Swift's rumored wedding right now. The internet is completely losing its mind with theories, and fans are literally trying to show up at specific locations where they think the ceremony is going to take place. There is so much chatter online about who made the cut for the guest list and who was completely left off of it. We are going to dive deep into all of this wedding madness that has been taking over social media. Is it actually happening over the 4th of July weekend? Did Blake Lively get an invitation? Are they really taking over Madison Square Garden? What is the real story behind the bachelorette party rumors? And who exactly was snubbed from the event? There are just an overwhelming number of rumors floating around about Taylor Swift's wedding plans right now. Oh my gosh, you guys, it is wild. Taylor has her fan base completely baffled because every new headline seems to contradict the last one. Now, Taylor has historically been famous for keeping her personal life under lock and key, but she has definitely been significantly more public and open about her relationship with Travis Kelce than she ever was in her past relationships, especially when she was with Joe Alwyn. Because she used to live such an incredibly private life, where it honestly felt like she was completely in hiding for years. I think fans are genuinely shocked by how many details seem to be leaking out about her upcoming wedding. For the longest time, a lot of people just took it for granted that she would follow the ultra-private blueprint set by Tom Holland and Zendaya. With Tom and Zendaya, they handled their entire marriage so quietly that the public didn't even realize a wedding had happened until Law Roach dropped a few subtle hints online. It wasn't until just recently that Tom finally seemed to confirm the news during a media interview, where he basically just mentioned that their families were all present and made it clear that that single sentence was all the information the public was ever going to get. But with Taylor, it is the exact opposite. We are seeing endless headlines breaking down who is invited, who is banned, where the venue is, what happened at the bachelorette party, and her close friends are literally being ambushed about it during red carpet interviews. It has turned into a massive international event, almost like a royal wedding, because reporters are completely desperate to get their hands on any piece of information. In fact, during a recent interview, Jack Antonoff was caught completely off guard when a reporter started grilling him about summer wedding plans.
Are you going to any big weddings this summer?
Are you married?
I am married. 15 years this year.
Oh, great. How's it going?
So far, so good. Unless you know something I don't.
Is it going to stick?
I hope so.
Let's go.
How about
Yes.
Are you going to any big weddings this summer?
I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so, man.
Where?
I love being married, man. I'm happy you love being too.
Yeah. That's all you're gonna give me, huh? Okay.
Did we just have a moment?
I think we did. Have a moment. That's a little awkward.
Yeah.
I am.
Our partner's gonna see that?
I think they will. Now they will.
That kind of awkward deflection just shows how intense the secrecy is. Ever since last August, when the rumors first dropped that Travis and Taylor were officially engaged, the public curiosity has just been spiraling out of control. Originally, the prevailing theory was that the wedding would take place at her massive Ocean House estate in Rhode Island. There was even this incredibly specific rumor going around that Taylor had actually paid off another bride a huge sum of money to move her own scheduled wedding just so Taylor could secure her favorite date, which was rumored to be June 13th. Now, the venue management came forward and completely denied that this ever happened, but a lot of skeptical fans refused to believe the denial. When June 13th rolled around, groups of fans literally traveled to the Rhode Island venue, camping out nearby just because they thought Taylor Swift might secretly be getting married that day, and they wanted to catch a glimpse of the arrivals. Obviously, no wedding ended up happening at Ocean House that weekend. Shortly after that, the rumors took a wild turn toward New York City, with claims circulating that she was actually going to hold the wedding at Madison Square Garden over the 4th of July weekend. At first, fans assumed this was just a massive fake-out headline that Taylor's team intentionally put out there to distract the paparazzi from her actual private plans. But then TMZ started doubling down on the story, insisting that something major and wedding-related was absolutely scheduled to take place at Madison Square Garden, leaving everyone completely confused because a massive sports arena doesn't exactly fit the traditional wedding vibe. As the weeks have passed since that initial Madison Square Garden rumor broke, TMZ has come back with updates, reporting that it is looking more and more like MSG isn't the venue for the actual marriage vows, but rather the location for a massive wedding celebration party. Multiple sources who claim to be on the guest list told the outlet that they believe the intimate legal ceremony will happen privately before the massive July 3rd event at the Garden. They noted that the actual wedding guest list is incredibly small compared to the massive crowd of over 1,000 people invited to the MSG after party. Honestly, whoever these sources are that are leaking these exclusive details to TMZ, the articles claim they are actual guests. It makes you wonder if these are people who are just bitter that they were only invited to the big arena party instead of the tiny, intimate ceremony. Because let's be real, if you are lucky enough to be invited to a Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce wedding event at all, you really shouldn't be turning around and leaking their private schedules to the media. But regardless, it sounds like they are planning a massive bash at Madison Square Garden, meaning they aren't going to force their closest friends and family to sit up in the stadium nosebleeds to watch them exchange their vows. But even with the New York rumors taking over, Taylor gave the paparazzi a massive heart attack just last weekend when everyone thought the wedding was suddenly happening ahead of schedule. On Friday, frantic reports started spreading that Taylor had a house full of guests staying at her Rhode Island mansion. TMZ photographers even spotted her childhood best friend, Abigail, walking around just outside the property. Instantly, the internet exploded with people saying, "Wait a minute, look at the evidence. Her friends are arriving in town, they're staying at her estate, and over at Ocean House, workers are actively setting up a massive white event tent outside." On top of that, Ocean House management confirmed that they did have a wedding booked for that specific weekend. So, naturally, everyone jumped to the conclusion that the big day had finally arrived. It caused a massive media frenzy, but honestly, as soon as the photos of that event tent leaked online, I knew it couldn't be her wedding. The setup was completely out in the open and far too exposed. It would have been way too easy for paparazzi to rent boats or use zoom lenses to snap photos of her. It just didn't make sense for someone who values security as much as she does. Ultimately, a massive wave of articles came out debating what was actually happening in Rhode Island that weekend, with people suggesting it might just be a low-key bachelorette party instead of the actual wedding. The whole news cycle was incredibly messy. By Saturday, TMZ reported that the chaotic activity at Taylor's estate seemed to be winding down. Several large black SUVs were seen driving away from the property. The heavy security presence started to decrease, and locals in the area believed that Taylor might have quietly left Rhode Island altogether. Just when everyone thought the excitement was over and the gathering had officially ended, things got confusing again because locals spotted a massive fireworks display being set up and shot off right near her Rhode Island property later that evening. It left fans completely bewildered, wondering if she had stayed behind to throw a secret bachelorette party with fireworks, or if the reports that she left were completely wrong. The details surrounding this entire timeline have been incredibly hard to follow, and at this point, I feel like we should all just stop stressing and wait for the official photos to drop on Instagram, because I am confident we will get to see them eventually. None of these frantic weekend rumors have actually materialized into a visible wedding ceremony yet, and as far as the public knows, no secret marriage took place over the weekend. When it comes to the actual guest list, the internet rumors are getting completely out of hand. I mentioned in a previous video that there were whispers about Karlie Kloss potentially receiving an invitation, which I personally find incredibly hard to believe because public consensus is that those two haven't spoken a word to each other in years. But people are saying the craziest things right now. There are also heavy reports circulating that Miles Teller and his wife Keely, or Kelly, won't be getting an invite to the celebration. There have been ongoing rumors for a while that Taylor and Keely had a bit of a falling out, and if it turns out they really aren't invited to the wedding, that pretty much solidifies the news that they are no longer in the inner circle. Like I said, we are just going to have to wait and see who posts what. I am certain there will be plenty of social media posts when the real event happens, because I just don't see Taylor and Travis completely mimicking the Tom and Zendaya lockdown strategy. Tom and Zendaya were so committed to absolute privacy that they didn't even want the world to know they were engaged. Zendaya literally just walked out onto a red carpet one afternoon wearing a massive ring on her finger, and they simply chose to never address the marriage rumors publicly. They kept it totally sealed, but because Taylor took to social media to share her engagement and has been so public with Travis, I fully expect that they will share their wedding photos with the fans at some point. What really caught me off guard this week was the sudden news about Blake Lively. Page 6 published a report claiming that Taylor and Blake are actively repairing their friendship, and it allegedly all started because Taylor extended a major olive branch by putting Blake on the guest list for her upcoming wedding with Travis. The Daily Mail followed up on Saturday with an insider claiming that the two former close friends have been talking on the phone to test the waters and slowly rebuild trust. The source stated that everyone in Taylor's immediate circle is well aware that Blake might show up, and if she decides not to attend, it won't be because she wasn't completely welcome. But then, of course, completely contradicting headlines popped up over the weekend claiming that Blake was explicitly excluded from that rumored bachelorette party in Rhode Island. It just goes to show that nobody actually knows what is true when it comes to these friend groups. At the end of the day, I have a strong feeling that we will eventually find out exactly what happened, when it happened, and where it happened. If they have somehow already managed to get married secretly without a single photo leaking, then honestly, major props to their security team for keeping the entire world guessing. When the Madison Square Garden rumor first dropped, I thought the idea was completely bizarre. But the more I think about it, the more I realize it might actually be the safest and smartest option available to them. Throwing a massive celebration inside an arena means absolute privacy. There is zero risk of paparazzi drones flying overhead. And Madison Square Garden is completely equipped with private subterranean entrances and exits designed to sneak high-profile celebrities and athletes in and out of the building completely undetected. It gives them the perfect environment to celebrate safely, let their famous guests arrive without a media circus, and allow Taylor and Travis to share their wedding photos on their own terms. Plus, with their budget, you know the inside of that arena is going to be completely transformed into a gorgeous, decorated fairy tale space. They aren't just going to be hanging out in an empty stadium. But that is currently everything being said about this insane wedding situation. I absolutely want to know what you guys are thinking about all of this. Let me know your thoughts and theories down in the comments section below. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys!